Curriculum Catalyst, and welcome to our video presentation.
My name is Ctd Presentation, and under the topic Curriculum Design and Theory, we chose Curriculum Orientation and Curriculum Design. Thank you. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. I am Ms. Ctd Presentation, and then I will be here. I am here today to introduce to you guys meaning of curriculum design. So when you hear the word design, like what comes to your mind? That's what you should ask yourself. The word design, what comes to your mind? Okay, it says here, the methodological process of developing an organized strategy for learning experiences that guarantees students meet learning objectives is known as curriculum design. So, this entails establishing precise learning goals. One thing about curriculum design, it includes objectives, goals, and aims. And also picking relevant material and structuring learning experiences into a logical flow of classes, exercises, and tests. In addition to developing evaluation techniques to measure students' progress, educators must select efficient teaching and learning tactics. So you as a teacher should have strategies and techniques, the ones that you're going to implement in your class for your learners to progress. Okay? Yes. And then it says, importantly, curriculum design incorporates a continuous assessment phase in which the program's efficacy is examined and modifications are made to maximize learning results. Okay, it basically involves creating a clear roadmap that directs students toward gaining the required information and abilities. So, under this curriculum design, we have attributes, which are features of curriculum design, and we have 8 of them. So please do not forget that. First of all, we have clarity of purpose. It says, that is the foundation. It's about knowing exactly what the curriculum aims to achieve. This involves defining specific learning outcomes that are measurable and understandable. Without clarity, instructions become aimless. So the curriculum must be clear. It must provide precise instruction. So the teachers must follow them accordingly and also be able to implement those in class. It provides the roadmap, guiding their efforts and allowing for effective assessment. Okay, we have an example here. It says, instead of saying students will understand science, students will be able to design and conduct a controlled experiment to test a hypothesis and plant growth and present their findings in a written report with data tables and graphs. You don't just provide a statement, but also should get into more details when teaching. So our second feature is alignment. This ensures that all parts of the curriculum work together. They must link, they must make sense. All parts that form curriculum. Objectives, content, the teaching methods, assessments, and yes, assessments must be consistent. If you want students to think critically, your assignments can be just multiple choice. Let's say I want to test your knowledge, and then I'm busy giving you multiple choice. The only thing you're going to do is true or false, yes or no, which I won't be able to know how far are you with your progress. I should give you questions like essay questions, which will allow you to think deeper and dig into detail. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Thank you. Explanation, it says, oh, I've already read it, sorry, my bad. We go to relevance as our third feature, don't forget that. Third feature for curriculum design. In relevance says, this connects learning to students' lives and real world. If I come to class and I'm busy teaching you guys about things that will just end in class, like you won't be able to implement those things in your community, the teaching becomes meaningless. I have to teach you about things that will make an impact in the community. If I teach you about environmental problems, environmental conditions, things that are affecting our communities out there and our world as a whole. That we are able to come up with strategies on how to tackle those problems. Do you guys get me? Yes. That way education becomes meaningful. Nay, students are more motivated when they see how their studies apply to their lives and future goals. That's what I said. Okay. And then we go to flexibility, our fourth curriculum design, a feature. This allows for adaptation to diverse learners and changing needs. It means being able to adjust the curriculum to meet individual student needs and to incorporate new information. So because I've received a curriculum and the curriculum says this is how you should teach your learners, and then I get to class, I say no man, this is not effective, this method is not working. I as a teacher am able to change, to modify the curriculum for your benefits as learners. Thank you. And also it allows for teachers to use their own teaching styles. Well, I will be implementing those in class for your benefit as my students. Yes. And then we go to coherence. This ensures that curriculum is logically organized and that learning builds upon prior knowledge. That's what you do. You learn based on prior knowledge. For example, the grade 12, at the beginning of each and every year, they write a baseline test based on their prior knowledge. It creates a clear progression of learning, making it easier to students understand and retain information. And then assessment. What example would you give me of an assessment? Yes.
Class test.
A class test, thank you. So as teachers, you don't just come to school and then you learn and then you go. No, there are assessments that we use to track your progress and also to provide feedback to us, the teachers, and to you, the students. For example, like he said, class test, we also have project presentation that we are using as assessments to evaluate the effectiveness of the curriculum. The assessment should be ongoing. It should be something that's being repeated. Like here, each and every month, we write tests, each and every week, we get assessments. And then also should provide feedback to both students and learners. If I don't give you guys assignments or tests, whatever, I won't be able to know how far are you going. Are you struggling with something or not? I won't be able. But if I give you assessment, then I will be able to to track your progress. And I as a teacher will also get feedback on how I'm teaching. Am I teaching effectively? Is my method effectively in class? Yes. And then past assessment, we have examples. Yes, using formative assessments such as quizzes and class discussions to monitor students' understanding. And then we go to collaboration. Number 7. This involves working with other educators, stakeholders, and community members. Curriculum design. Curriculum is not just about teachers or the school governing body or stakeholders. No, it includes the teachers, the stakeholders, the community. And the collaboration ensures that diverse perspectives are considered. It should not only focus on the school, the content of the school, how is curriculum being taught. No, it should also reflect the needs of the community. Example, it says here, holding curriculum planning meetings with teachers, administrators, and parents, inviting community members to share their expertise with students. And then our last feature of curriculum design is evaluation and improvement. I don't know, but like I said earlier on, teachers keep on going back to curriculum to check whether it is still effective. So here it involves regularly reviewing the curriculum to ensure that it remains relevant and effective. Curriculum changes. The curriculum design, it doesn't stay the same way. Maybe after years then they decide to change it to keep the effectiveness of teaching. It should be data driven and should involve input from all stakeholders. So, example is analyzing students' assessment data to identify areas for improvement, conducting teacher surveys and focus groups to gather feedback on the curriculum, and lastly, comparing standardized test scores to previous years and models of curriculum design. So in conclusion, I hope you guys heard me. Under curriculum design, we have 8 features of curriculum design, which ensures that the curriculum stays stabilized. It does not only involve the teachers, but it involves the stakeholders, the communities, and it must address the issues that the community is facing. It must not be class-based or school-based. The content must cover everything. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
I hope everyone is doing well today. Standing in front of you guys is Mr. Mkoneki, and today I will be teaching you guys about the models of curriculum design. So before I get into detail about my lesson today, I want you guys to keep in mind these 2 questions that I'll introduce to you guys right now. So the first one is, have you ever wondered why lessons are structured the way they are? That's the first question. And the second one is, imagine designing the perfect learning experience. Where do you even begin? So I want you guys to keep those questions in mind as I'll be introducing my lesson today to you guys. So I'll start by defining what is a curriculum and its significance in education. So it is a planned sequence of learning experiences, and it outlines what students should learn, in what order and how. So this includes the content, skills and knowledge that educators should implement on students while they're teaching. Okay, so here's a short introduction that emphasizes the significance of curriculum design models in education. So every educational experience, from a simple lesson to an entire school, is shaped by a curriculum. By that, but what exactly is a curriculum? And how is it designed? And its core curriculum design is the intentional and systematic process of creating a framework for learners, and it's the blueprint that guides what learners should learn and how they learn it and how their progress is assessed. So essentially, curriculum design models are the tools that empower educators to create meaningful and impactful learning experiences. They help to ensure that education is not a disorganized system, but a carefully planned and executed process that prepares students for success in an ever-evolving world. Understanding these models will allow us to critically examine and improve the educational landscape, fostering environments where all students can thrive and succeed. So I'll start by first defining the first model of the curriculum design, which is subject-centered curriculum design. So this means that this traditional approach emphasizes the systematic transmission of knowledge within specific subject areas. By that, I mean the curriculum is organized around disciplines like mathematics, history, science, or language arts. The focus is on covering a predetermined body of content, often following a logical sequence within the subject. It's often seen in traditional textbooks and standardized tests where emphasis is on mastering factual knowledge and specific skills. For example, in a history class, a curriculum that follows a chronological timeline covering major historical events and figures. For example, a world history course moving from ancient civilizations to modern times. By that, I mean the evolution, the development, that happened throughout the years. For example, from the first, we're now in the 4th industrial revolution, to make example. So what that the history of the content of the history, what it will cover is what happened from the 1st industrial revolution to the 4th industrial revolution. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
So the next the second problem the second curriculum model the second model under curriculum design is learner-centered curriculum design. So this approach places the learners at the heart of the curriculum. By that I mean it prioritizes the individual's needs, interests, and learning experiences of the learners. Teachers act as facilitators, guiding students in their learning and individualized support, where it emphasizes active learning, inquiry-based projects, and collaborative activities. By that I mean project-based learning. Students choose a topic of interest within a broad theme and conduct in-depth research, culminating in a presentation of products. For example, a class might explore environmental issues, which with each student focusing on a specific area like pollution, deforestation, or even renewable energy. And we also have inquiry-based learning. Students are encouraged to ask questions, investigate topics, and draw their own conclusions. For example, in a science class, students might design their own experiments to test a hypothesis. So the third model is problem-centered curriculum design. So this model focuses on real-world problems and issues, aiming to develop students' critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Students engage in authentic tasks that require them to apply their knowledge and skills to address complex challenges, and it promotes interdisciplinary learning and encourages students to consider multiple perspectives. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, sir.
For example, addressing climate change, a curriculum unit that explores and causes and effects of climate change, requiring students to research solutions and develop actions. And then fourthly, we have Tyler models. We have Tyler's model. This is the fourth model. So it is developed by Ralph Tyler. This model is a classic linear approach to curriculum design, and it emphasizes a systematic and logical process focusing on 4 key questions. The first one is, what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? The second one is, what educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? The third question is, how can these educational experiences be effectively organized? And then the fourth is, how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? So for example, creating a new reading program. By that, we'll need to first identify the objectives. Our objectives means like the things we should focus on. Improve reading and comprehension and vocabulary. The second one is by our experiences. So we're going to use diverse texts, group discussions, vocabulary exercises, and then thirdly, we'll start by organizing. So through organization, we're going to plan sequence texts from simple to complex and integrate vocabulary activities. Lastly, we'll evaluate. Standardized reading tests, student portfolios that check and monitor the progress of the students. And then fifthly, we have Taber's model, which was developed by Hilde Taber. So this model is a grassroots approach emphasizing the role of teachers in a curriculum development. Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
It follows a more inductive process, starting with the specific needs of learners and then developing broader curriculum goals. It places emphasis on the teacher being the person that creates the curriculum. So the teacher is the main center of attention here. The main focus is on the teacher. And it has 7 major steps. The first step is diagnosis of learners' needs. In order for you to know what you have to implement or teach the learners, you first need to know what they need and what they need help in. So by that, secondly, you're going to formulate objectives. And then thirdly, you're going to do the selection of content. Fourthly, you're going to organize the content. Fifth, you're going to do the selection of learning experiences. And then you're going to do organization of learning activities. And lastly, you're going to do evaluation. So by examples to make example of what I just explained to you guys, designing a local history unit. So by that, we first need to know students lack knowledge in their community's history. By that, you're doing a diagnosis. After that, you're going to do the focus on objectives, which are the things, which are your aims. So by that, you're first going to understand the local historical events and figures of the community. Then thirdly, you're going to focus on the content, which is the local historical documents, interviews with local community members, and then fifthly, you're going to start by organizing chronological timeline of thematic units, and then you're going to check the experiences of the people. So by that, by checking experiences, you're going to do field trips to historical sites, or even do oral history projects. And then you're going to engage yourself in activities By that, you're going to create group discussions, presentations, research projects to help you gain more knowledge about what you're trying to seek knowledge in. And then lastly, whenever you're doing something, you need to have an evaluation. So by that, students' presentations, written reports, community exhibitions. By that, you're going to engage the people in what they need to know and help them formulate ideas and create problem-solving skills for the people to face the challenge that they are facing in the community. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, sir.
So, whenever you want to seek to bring change in the community, you first need to know what they lack in. So by that, you need to know the problems, the challenges they are facing within the community, and by that you're going to need to engage with the people that are living in the community. You're never going to know what's the problem that's happening here in Alice if you're not living here with us. Yes. You first need to engage yourself within the community and seek knowledge from the people that are in the communities for you to know what the actual problem is or what the actual challenge is. So today's lesson, guys, was just this, I was just explaining to you guys the models of the curriculum design. So those are things you should take into considerations whenever you want to design a curriculum for learners. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Good day, everyone.
Good day, sir.
Here in front of you, I'm Sikusa Ndondoze, but you can call me Mr. Ndondoze. As one of my colleagues have already spoke about the curriculum design, I'm here to introduce with factors that influence curriculum design. There are many factors that influence curriculum design, like philosophical foundation. Philosophical foundation in curriculum design refer to the basic ideas and beliefs about education that shapes what and how students learn. There are 4 philosophies guide what and how students learn. First of all, there is essentialism. Essentialism emphasizes core academic subjects and the transmission of traditional knowledge. The goal is to prepare students for the productive role in society. Second one is progressivism. Focuses on student-centered problem-solving skills, developing critical thinking. There is perennialism. Study basic books and important ideas. The aim is to cultivate intellectual reasoning, moral character. The fourth one is existentialism. Existentialism. It prioritizes individual freedom, choice, and self-discovery. Students are encouraged to explore their own meaning and purpose. Its examples are essentialism. A high school curriculum heavily focused on mathematics, science, history, and with standardized tests to measure mastery. Progressivism, a middle school project-based learning unit. Students work in groups to solve local community problems, such as developing recycling programs. Perennialism, a college course that focuses on the great book of Western civilization with the discussion and debates of timeless philosophies. Existentialism, an art class with students are encouraged to express their unique perspective, emotions through their work, art, and minimal teaching direction. The second factor that we have is societal needs and expectations. Okay, excuse me. Some of you are asking themselves that, what is this factor mean? The curriculum must reflect to the evolution of society, preparing students for success in dynamic world. These include adapting to changes in workplaces, technology advancement, and cultural values. Social issues like sustainability, diversity, global citizenship, and increasingly integration. For example, integrating coding, computer science, and implementary and secondary school curriculum to prepare students for the technology-driven workforce, including lessons on climate changes and environmental sustainability in science and social studies classes to address pressing global issues, incorporating multicultural literacy and history into curriculum to promote understanding and respect for diverse cultures, adding financial literacy courses to high school curriculum. The third one is psychological principle. Learning theories and developmental psychologists provide insight into how students learn and develop. Curriculum design considers factors such as cognitive development, learning style, motivation, and social emotional learning. This ensures that learning experiences are developmentally appropriate and engaging. For example, using differential instruction to cater to students with varying learning style and abilities. Incorporating cooperation learning activities to promote social interaction and collaboration. Providing opportunities for learners to reflect on their learning and developing metacognitive skills. Designing curriculum that considers the developmental stages of children. The fourth one is technological advancement. Rapid technological changes require integration of technology into the curriculum. Digital literacy, online learning, and use of education technology and increasingly important. Technology can enhance learning experience and provide access to a vast amount of information. For example, using online learning platforms and digital resources to supplement classroom instructions, integrating coding and programming into the curriculum develop student digital skills, using virtual reality and augmented reality to create immersive learning experience. Teaching students how critically evaluate online information. The fifth one is learner needs and characteristics. Curricula should be designed to meet the diverse needs of learners, including variation in ability, cultural background, and learning style. Learner-centered approach prioritize student engagement and personalized learning, inclusive education practice, and essential to ensure all students have access to the quality of education.
Yes.
For example, providing accommodation and modification for students with disabilities, incorporating cultural responsive teaching practice to affirm student cultural identities, offering flexibility learning pathway to accommodate students with different learning paces, creating classroom environment that is safe and welcome for every student.
Yes, sir.
That is all for my.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Good day, class.
Good day, madam.
I am Ms. Sopumelela Tabai, and today I'll be introducing the topic criteria for curriculum design. So, curriculum design at its core is the art and science of creating meaningful learning experiences. However, this creation cannot be random. To ensure that educational activities are fruitful, we rely on established criteria. These criteria serve as guiding principles shaping the development, implementation, and evaluation of curricula. They provide a framework of educators to establish clear learning goals, to create aligned learning experiences, foster relevant and engaging learning, promote comprehensive understanding, accommodate diverse learning needs, facilitate continuous improvement. These criteria are indispensable tools for educators, curriculum developers, and policymakers. They enable us to construct curricula that are not only informative but also transformative, empowering students to thrive in an ever-evolving world. Its significance in curriculum studies, it's the significance of a criteria for curriculum design. Curriculum studies is a field of study that is concerned with what is taught on schools, why it is taught, and how it is taught. Therefore, the criteria for curriculum design are very important to this field. These criteria provide a structure for curriculum developers. They provide a means of evaluating curriculums. They help to ensure that curriculums are relevant to the needs of the students. They help to ensure the curriculums are equitable. By understanding and applying this criteria, we can elevate the quality of education and equip students with the knowledge and skills they need to succeed.
Yes.
Think of a building without a blueprint. It's a pile of materials. Our curriculum is our blueprint for learning. Today we'll explore how to design a blueprint that truly empowers our students. With all seen lessons that fall flat, let's talk about the key ingredients that make a curriculum truly effective. We'll be diving into 6 crucial criteria: clarity, alignment, relevance, breadth and depth, flexibility, and evaluation. These are not just buzzwords, but practical tools for creating impactful learning experiences. The first one is clarity of goals and objectives. Imagine trying to reach a destination without a map. That's what learning without a clear goal is like. Clarity gives us a direction. Goals are the broad aims, like developing critical thinking. Objectives are the specific measurable steps, like writing a 5-paragraph analysis. Let's look at these examples. The first one is students will understand literature, versus students will develop critical analysis skills through the study of diverse literal genres. Which is more useful between the two? Can I repeat it? Oh, you've heard me.
Yes.
So which one is more helpful between students who understand literature versus students who develop critical analysis skills through the study of diverse literal genres? Okay, thank you. So the second objective provides a clear direction for both the teacher and the students. It outlines what will be learned, how it will be learned, and how it can be assessed. The second one is alignment, the symphony. Alignment is about creating a sweet learning experience when objectives, activities, and assessments work together. It's like a symphony. Misalignment is like having a rock band playing during a classical concert. It creates dissonance. We must ensure every element reinforces the others. If we want students to apply scientific methods, our activities must involve experiments and our assessment must evaluate that application.
Yes, ma'am.
The third one is relevance, the bridge to the world, like the real world. Relevance answers that why should I care question. It's about connecting learning to students' lives and the world around them. Instead of just teaching math, we can teach personal finance. Instead of just teaching science, we can discuss environmental solutions. When learning is relevant, students become invested. They see the purpose. I have a short story to share with you guys. I taught a persuasive writing and it was a slog, like a difficult task. Then I asked them about issues they cared about. Quiet student, Anota, got fired up about cafeteria food waste. Suddenly, her writing was real passionate. The class was captivated. That's when I saw the power of relevance. It's like, there is a breadth and depth, the well-rounded learner. We need both breadth and depth. Breadth gives students a wide foundation, while depth allows for deeper exploration. Think of it like a building skill. We need to learn the basics and then we need to practice apply them in complex ways. We can introduce major historical periods and then allow students to research specific figures. Then we have flexibility and adaptability, the responsive class. Our classrooms are diverse and ever-changing. We need a curriculum that can adapt. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Thank you. This means differentiated instruction, varied assessment, and integrating technology thoughtfully. Flexibility also means being responsive to current events and student needs. Remember to include equity. Make sure all students have access to the learning material. Evaluation and improvement. The continuous cycle. Evaluation isn't just about tests, it's about gathering data to improve our curriculum and teaching. Formative assessments, student feedback, and data analysis help us see what's working and what's not. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's make evaluation a continuous process, not just an end of year activity. When we delve into the curriculum studies, the concept of criteria for curriculum design stands as a foundational pillar. It's not merely about assembling a collection of lessons. It's about crafting a deliberate and effective pathway for student learning. In essence, curriculum design is more than just planning lessons. It's about shaping the future. Today, we've explored 6 criteria, which is clarity, alignment, relevance, breadth and depth, and evaluation. These aren't just theoretical concepts, but practical tools to transform our classrooms. Now, I challenge each and every one of you. Let's commit to applying these principles in our daily practice. Let's strive for clarity in our objectives, alignment in our lessons, relevance in our content, and flexibility in our approach. By doing so, we'll create a learning experience that are not only effective, but truly transformative. That's it for today, class, and thank you for your participation.
Thank you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to you learners. My name is Musa Duda, but to you I am Miss Duda.
And today I am excited to present a topic that forms the very foundation of education systems across the world, which is curriculum orientation and its role in shaping education. Together, we will explore how the curriculum influences what we teach, how we teach it, and most importantly, how we teach it. By the end of this presentation, I hope to leave you not only with a deeper understanding of these philosophies, but also with a new perspective on how they can be applied to real-world teaching and learning. Without wasting any time, let's get right into it. We will start off by curriculum orientation. Have you ever wondered why our maths class focuses so much on algebra, or why a history lesson often begins with ancient civilization, or even why we even spend so much time on subjects like science or literature? These choices are not so random. They come from curriculum orientations, the philosophies and beliefs that guide how education is planned, implemented, and evaluated. Now I'm going to explain the concept, which is curriculum orientation. Curriculum orientation is about understanding the why of education. It's the guiding philosophy that influences the direction education takes. It answers the fundamental question of what is the purpose of education. Are we teaching to prepare students for the future, to expand their minds, or to ensure they pass their exams? Curriculum orientation influences what we teach, how we teach it, and how we evaluate the understanding of learners. Do you guys get me?
Yes.
Okay. Curriculum orientation is like the blueprint that defines the structure and direction of educational programs, both in schools and in universities. Right. Now we are going to look at the main curriculum orientations. We have 5 keys of curriculum orientation, but myself, I will focus on the first one, which is academic rationalism, okay, which is one of the most fundamental orientations in education. Academic rationalism with its key strategy, which is focused on discipline. Academic rationalism is about specialized knowledge, focusing on the subjects that are rooted in deep systematic understanding. This curriculum orientation is about helping students build knowledge in well-established fields like maths, science, literature, and history. For example, think about your high school curriculum. You have specific classes like maths, life sciences, world history, and English. These subjects are well structured and are meant to deepen your understanding of their content. We also have university programs that focus on particular majors like physics or philosophy, allowing you to master specific disciplines. We also have science class, which teaches you scientific methods, helping you learn how to experiment, observe, and draw conclusions based on evidence. Are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. Another example is that in South Africa we see academic rationalism in action with the National Senior Certificate exams, where learners are tested in distinct subjects like mathematics, physical sciences, and English. The idea is to give students a deep dive into specific knowledge that they can build on throughout their lives. Moving on to another key strategy of academic rationalism, which is emphasis on intellectual development. Academic rationalism is just not about memorizing facts. It is about developing students' thinking skills. We aim to nurture critical thinking, logical reasoning, and analytical abilities. Imagine you are teaching a debate class. Here, students must develop arguments, research evidence, and then engage in logical discussions. This forces them to think critically and analyze information, which exactly what academic rationalism promotes. Let us look at the real-world application of this intellectual development. In the workplace, these skills are essential. Whether you are an engineer, a teacher, or a lawyer, the ability to think critically and solve complex problems is what sets professionals apart. These skills are honed through rigorous academic study. Remember, rigorous means challenging. Rigorous academic study are what prepares students for real-world challenges. Moving on to another key strategy, which is transmission of knowledge. In academic rationalism, it is not just about new knowledge. It is about passing on the wisdom of the past, teaching the cultural heritage and the foundational concepts that have stood the test of time. For example, in a literature class, it may involve reading Shakespeare or ancient Greek epics, exposing students to timeless ideas and stories. We also have science education, where teaching fundamental concepts like Newton's laws of motion, the theory of evolution, and the scientific methods which have helped shape our understanding of the world. Are we still together?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us look at another example. In South Africa, history classes often look at significant events such as apartheid or the end of apartheid. These pivotal movements in history shape not only our nation's identity but also the global perspective on freedom and human rights.
Yes, ma'am.
We also have another key strategy, which is development of the mind. The goal is to develop the mind through rigorous study, which means challenging study and mental disciplines. In other words, it is not about memorizing information. It is about understanding and applying complex concepts. For example, in a mathematics class, learners learn to prove equations, not just only memorizing them.
Yes.
In a language class, learners learn to master grammar rules and then apply them in writing and in speaking. Are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. Think about mathematics in South African schools. Students just don't memorize multiplication tables. They also learn to solve complex problems, analyze patterns, and think critically about how they arrive at solutions. Now we are looking at the role of the teacher under academic rationalism. Under academic rationalism, the teacher's role is more than just delivering content. The teacher is a guide, helping learners master complex concepts and content of each academic discipline. For example, in a history class, the teacher doesn't just tell the story of a historical event, but guides learners through analyzing its significance, the different perspectives surrounding it, and its impact on the present. Why academic rationalism is important? You should ask yourself that question. Why should you care about this?
Well, have you ever wondered why certain subjects are more valued than others in school? The truth is that academic rationalism shapes the way we approach education, which ultimately shapes the way society values different kinds of knowledge. In a real-world application, professionals in fields like medicine, engineering, and law rely on their deep academic knowledge to solve problems, innovate, and improve the world. Are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. From understanding scientific breakthroughs to reading classic literature, the knowledge passed down from generation to generation influences the way we think, solve problems, and even vote on political issues. In conclusion, academic rationalism is about deepening our understanding of the world through the study. In conclusion, academic rationalism is about deepening our understanding of the world through the study of core disciplines. It is about developing minds that can think critically and solve problems. As teachers, it is our job to not only transmit this knowledge, but to inspire our learners to build on it and create a better future. Now, thank you for your time today. I hope now you have a deeper understanding of how curriculum orientation, specifically academic rationalism, shapes education. I look forward to exploring more exciting topics in the future with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon class.
Afternoon.
Staring afternoon is Thokozani Gates, but can call me as Mr. Kate. So today I will be delivering approaches that are needed to us as teachers. I believe that all of us here will be teachers in few years to come, right?
Yes.
So I will be delivering one of approaches that we need to implement in our classroom so that our learners can be what we want them to be. I chose a cognitive process orientation. This is an approach. It's a teaching approach that focuses on how students learn rather than just what they learn. So this approach, it focuses on how students learn rather than what they learn. It is not just about a content, but how they are learning, the strategies that you implement to them about their learning. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So, it emphasizes the development of cognitive skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and ability to process and organize information effectively. So, for example, if you're a history teacher, you need to develop a good strategy for your students in order for them to be able to structure an essay. They must be able to organize information effectively in a limited way, in a way that they can become maybe, as I already said before, that they can become what you want them to be. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So this approach, it is unlike academic rationalism, which focuses on the content. Remember, when I introduced my approach, I said it is an approach that focuses on how students learn, not what students learn. Are you with me? Yes. So that is why I'm saying it is unlike an academic rationalism, which focuses on the content of that, the content that is being learned by students. So, one of the core ideas of cognitive process orientation is that the learning is not just about memorizing facts or requiring knowledge, but it is about developing the mental process that helps your student to think and learn independently So this point is saying this approach, it is not only about a content, as I already said, but it is about a strategy that you as a teacher, you need to implement so that your learners can learn even without you. For example, if you gave them a homework, they are doing that without you. They must implement a strategy that you gave them, which will help them to think critically, solve problem effectively. Are you still with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
So this approach encourages students to actively engage with the material, ask questions, critical evaluation, instead of simply presenting information for students to absorb. Teachers in a quality process-oriented classroom guide students to explore concepts, making connection and find solution. For example, let me first explain this line. So this line is saying, you as a teacher, you need to implement a strategy that goes chronologically. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So your strategies or your problem solving strategies must go chronologically, step by step. You understand? So that your learners must be able to organize your information effectively, as I already said before. Are you with me?
Yes.
So in a quality process-oriented classroom, so we're in a classroom now. You as a teacher, just imagine yourself or listen to me because this is very important for you. You will be in your classroom alone. I will be not there. And you will be needed to apply this approach to your students, right? So the role of you as a teacher will shift from being a central figure who imparts knowledge to a facilitator who creates a supportive environment for learning. So in a classroom of a cognitive-oriented approach, your role of you as a teacher will change from delivering a content to you to create an environment that is welcoming all students and giving them strategies to solve problems effectively. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So the teacher's primary job is to help students develop the skills needed to navigate their own learning processes, as I already said. This includes creating opportunities for students to practice problem solving, ask meaningful questions, collaborate with peers, and think critically about information they encounter. Yes, this is very, very true, guys. So, as a teacher, environment for learning. So, in a classroom of a cognitive-oriented approach, your role of you as a teacher will change from delivering a content to you to create an environment that is welcoming all students and giving them strategies to solve problems effectively. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So, the teacher's primary job is to help students develop the skills needed to navigate their own learning processes, as I already said. This includes creating opportunities for students to practice problem solving, ask meaningful questions, collaborate with peers, and think critically about information they encounter. Yes, this is very, very true, guys. So, as a teacher, you need to come up with some efficient strategies that will work for you and also work for your learners. So, you can even, if ever you gave them an assessment, right? Group them. That is the best strategy for you as a teacher, because there they will share knowledge, they will share how to solve problems, right? They will share their thinking skills. Are you with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, here's an example. For example, rather than just simply teaching students how to memorize a list of facts or formulas, the teacher in a cognitive process-oriented classroom might encourage a student to explore different methods for solving a problem. Yes, again, you as a teacher encourage your encourage your students so that they can do what you want them to do.
Yes.
Are you with me, teachers?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I like that yes of yours. So, the focus is on the teaching student to understand the how and the why behind the content rather than just a content itself. Yes, this approach fosters deeper understanding, helps students to develop their skills needed to approach future challenges with confidence and creativity. I like this. So you as a teacher come up with strategies that will help your learners even in future. Your strategies must not only be academic. Yes, even in future you will be not there. These strategies will also help you as a teacher. You will be proud of seeing your students be able to solve maybe personal challenges, personal problems with your strategy that you implemented in that learner. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
Yes. So, additionally, cognitive process orientation encourages students to take responsibility for their own learning by fostering skills such as metaphor. Just forget about that, which is thinking about one's thinking. So, as I already said this before, that you must prove student. Student can think through your thinking, Mr. Spelling. You think or come up with an idea, right? Then a student that was maybe blinded in that idea will now have an idea of what you are talking about and share that idea with you. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So, okay, guys. Okay, they might learn how. So your student might learn how to organize information, identify gaps in their knowledge, and adjust their approach based on feedback or news. Yes, this self-awareness and flexibility are crucial for lifelong learning and adaptability in an ever-changing world. Yes, as I said before, that seeing your student be able to solve maybe personal challenges or maybe a life, some personal challenges, and you will be proud as a teacher. So what I'm saying here is that when you are implementing strategies, come up with a strategy that will help your learners to be able to solve problems in your class, even in future.
Yes.
So let's summarize this. In summary, quality process orientation is about focusing on learning process itself rather than just delivering the content. The teacher's role, as I already said before, is to create an environment that supports the development of problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and self-reflection. And self-reflection of the student, right?
Yes.
So, guys, this doesn't end here. I was just summarizing the process or the approach that you as teachers you need to implement in your classroom. As a teacher, you need a philosophy. A teacher is nothing without a philosophy. You must have a philosophy. I will just share one philosophy, which is a progressivism philosophy, right?
Yes.
So this philosophy is linking with the approach that I already explained, which is a cognitive process orientation. I will explain more how they are linking. First of all, you will need you guys to understand this philosophy, which is a progressivism philosophy, in order for you to know how these two link, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
let's go. Let me deliver this great definition of progressivism philosophy. This is a philosophy that emphasizes learning through experience, critical thinking, and so thank you so much, class. That was our summary on cognitive process orientation. So, as a teacher, you need to have a philosophy. You can't teach learners without philosophy. So I will share you one of philosophies in education, which is progressivism philosophy. This is a philosophy that emphasizes learning through experience, critical thinking, and development of problem-solving skills. It believes that education should be centered around the needs, interest, and experience of students, rather than focusing on the content or memorizing effects. And remember, I said to you earlier that cognitive process orientation is about the way learners learn, not about the content that you deliver as a teacher, right?
Yes.
You are still with me? So I said that I will link this philosophy with the approach that you as a teacher you need to implement in your class. So in order for you to understand this linkage between these two, it will be helpful for you guys to understand first this which is philosophy, this philosophy. So this philosophy, I said it emphasizes learning through experience, critical thinking, and development of problem-solving skills. It believes that education should be centered around the needs of your students, interest of your students, and the experience of what? Of your student, rather than focusing on the content that you are delivering, rather than focusing on memorizing all the facts, right?
Yes.
So the goal of this philosophy, the goal of this philosophy in education is not only to teach academic content, but also to prepare students to be active, thoughtful, and responsible citizens who can contribute to its society progress. As I said in the approach that you as a teacher, you will be very maybe happy to see your learner out there maybe is one of people who contribute in the progress of his or her society, right? So one of the key principles of this philosophy in education is that students learn best when they are engaged in activities that allow them to explore, experiment, and make decisions. So all in all about this philosophy, it emphasizes that learners must learn through hand-on activities, right? So when you implement or when you give them activities, there must be an activity that will require them to implement maybe their experience, right? For example, if ever you gave them a project, maybe a project in environmental studies about littering, right? So about littering, all students know the impacts and the causes of what? Of littering, right? So that project you are giving them, it requires them to apply their experience. So this is what this philosophy is about. It is about a hand-on activities and the experience of what? Of your students, right? You are still with me, guys?
Yes.
So the importance of this philosophy. Remember, I said you as a teacher, you need to have a philosophy in order to be I can say an active or an important teacher in education. So the importance of this philosophy in education is that learning should be relevant to the lives of students. Teachers are encouraged to connect lessons to real-world issues and challenges. For instance, in a social studies class, students must study topics like environmental issues, as I already said, or social justice movement, which are both meaningful and timely. This helps students to see the relevance of what they are learning and inspires them to think about how they can contribute to solving real problems, issues. You understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll be short now. Let's link these two, which is our cognitive process, which is the approach that you are needed to implement in your class, and a philosophy that you need to teach your students according to it. Right? So in education, these two are connected because they both focuses on helping students think and learn better than just memorizing facts. As I said before, cognitive process orientation is about teaching students how to use their thinking skills, like solving problems, Mr. Mkondeki, analyzing information, and understanding their own learning processes. While our philosophy, which is progressivism philosophy, emphasizing students to learn through their experiences, right? So both of these approaches, in both approaches, the teacher is the teacher's role changes. Instead of just giving information, the teacher guides and supports students as they explore ideas and solve problems on their own, right? So you as a teacher, you are needed to guide your student on how to solve problems. You are needed to be there, Mr. Mkondeki, when your students maybe are facing some challenges in your academics, right? To give them or to guide them how to implement the strategy that you implemented in them, or the strategy that you used, or you told them how to the strategy that you told them how to solve such problems, right? So you as a teacher, you needed to be there and guide them. So what? Okay. Yes, it is about that. So progressivism philosophy makes lessons exciting. Yes, makes lessons exciting and relevant to student lives, helping them to see how their learning applies to the real world around them. Both approaches aim to prepare students not only for school but real world challenges, teaching them to independent, creativity, and confidence, even if they are facing real world challenges. They must face them without fear. They must face them with a confidence and a creativity that you gave them, Mr. Mkondeki and Mr. Mseleni. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So for today, it was just about that. I will teach you more, and when we meet again, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, class.
Afternoon, ma'am.
I am Miss Martini, and today I'll be teaching you about self-actualization. Is there anyone who knows what self-actualization means? Yes, sir.
I think it's the ability to understand yourself and know your values.
Okay, thank you. Self-actualization is the process of achieving one's fullest potential. It involves honoring the best version of one's true growth and discovery. I have example here. A student who begins by doubting their artistic abilities, but through encouragement and practice becomes a skilled artist, is moving towards self-actualization. Why is self-actualization important in education? It helps students build thinking skills and creativity, promotes emotional resilience, which is vital for facing life's challenges, and it also encourages a lifelong love of learning. For example, a student who works on a long-term project based on personal interest, not just for grades, learns to think critically and creatively, gaining both knowledge and self-confidence. As educators, it is very important to give our students self-actualization. It is very important to help them know what is self-actualization, because we might help them to boost their self-esteem. I have key characteristics of self-actualization. The first one is creativity and innovation. Self-actualized individuals find unique solutions to problems and express themselves through creative activities. For example, a student who designs an innovative app to solve a common problem in their community. The second one is problem solving and critical thinking. They approach challenges with a growth mindset, using critical thinking to navigate complex situations. For example, a student who analyzes a heuristical event from multiple perspectives to understand its impact. The third one is high self-confidence and motivation. These individuals are self-assured and driven by internal values rather than external rewards. For example, a student takes the initiative to lead a group project because they believe in their ability to guide their peers to success. If you teach your students about self-actualization, they might take that thing to their community and help them to improve what they are doing there. The fourth one is desire for personal growth. They are lifelong learners who continuously strive to better themselves. A student who seeks opportunities for leadership roles, academic challenges, or internships to extend experiences. Are we together, class?
Yes.
Benefits of self-actualization in students. The first one is higher motivation and engagement. Students become more invested in their learning when they are pursuing their passion and interests. A student who chooses to research space exploration out of personal interest will likely go above and beyond in their research and presentation. The second one is better emotional well-being. Self-actualization students often experience higher self-esteem and a better sense of self-worth, leading to better emotional health. A student who has developed strong social relationships and self-confidence will be more resilient to stress and failure. The third one is stronger critical thinking and independence. These students are not just passive receivers of knowledge. They engage deeply with the material and develop the ability to solve problems creatively. A student who takes the initiative to independently research a controversial issue and form their own opinion demonstrates critical thinking.
Yes.
And we have the last one, greater confidence and personal growth. Students who achieve self-actualization are more likely to continue growing throughout their lives, motivated to take on new challenges and expand their horizons. A student who conquers a fear of public speaking in school will be more likely to pursue leadership roles later in life.
Yes.
Self-actualization helps students reach their full potential. By focusing on personal growth, creativity, and emotional and motivation, students can achieve not only academic success, but also become lifelong learners.
Yes.
Teachers play a crucial role in student development. By acting as facilitators, providing the support, encouragement, and opportunities needed for students to thrive. Focuses on students' interests, creativity, and personal growth. By supporting students' passions and fostering intrinsic motivation, educators help students become confident, independent learners who are prepared for future success. I will be doing my philosophy. As we all know that an educator should have a philosophy.
Yes.
which is social efficiency. Social efficiency refers to a philosophy that emphasizes designing educational systems and objectives that align with the needs of society. It focuses on preparing students to function effectively in the social and economic challenges they will encounter after school. Schools may design curricula that specifically prepare students for vocational roles in industries, ensuring that students graduate with the skills needed for a particular job market.
Yes.
Are we still together?
Yes, ma'am.
I have importance of social efficiency. The goal is to create a functional society by aligning education with society, with social expectations and needs. This philosophy shapes the way educational objectives are formed and how teachers and curricula interact.
Yes.
We have key concepts in social efficiency philosophy. Are we still together?
Yes, ma'am.
The first one is society's needs as the focus. So social efficiency emphasizes that education should not be just about individual development, but about shaping individual to meet social needs. In some countries, schools focus on equipping students with technical skills like coding, engineering, or healthcare to prepare the labor market that demands those skills. Are we still together?
Yes, ma'am.
Educational objectives as a foundation, that's the second point. The design of curriculum, teaching methods, and assessments is based on clearly defined educational objectives, which in turn are shaped by society's needs. The fourth one is proponents of social efficiency philosophy. I'm sorry. Poppet was a major advocate for the social efficiency movement. He argued that education should be seen as a way to prepare students for their roles in society by focusing on clearly defined educational goals. For example, curriculum development in Bobbett's model would include skills such as work habits, time management, and civic duties.
Good day, class.
Good day, sir.
How are you guys doing today?
We are fine, thanks, sir.
I'm also good. Before I start my lesson today, I have a question for you guys. So I would like to know, what is the challenge or problem that you guys are facing in your community? Yes?
Land pollution.
Land pollution. Very good. So in today's lesson, we'll be dwelling more on what is happening on the community. So I've done the slides based on what is happening on the community. So we have social reconstruction orientation in education, which basically means it is a teaching method that focuses on solving problems in the society. Instead of just learning subjects like maths, science, or history, students studying real-life world situations like poverty, pollution, deforestation, gender, racism. So this method believes that school play an important role in creating a better society by helping students think critically and ask questions and take action to improve their communities. So, yes, sir.
So, all in all, you are saying that this approach, like it emphasizing the improvement in the society, right? Like, for example, the teacher that is teaching life orientation subject.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
It's actually based on the problems that are happening on the community.
Yes.
Yes. So, I have the key ideas of social reconstruction orientation. Number one, focus on the community problems. Traditional education mainly teaches academic subjects, but social reconstruction orientation teaches real life situations or problems. Do you guys get me?
Yes, sir.
So, students learn about important issues such as poverty. You all know what is poverty. Some people are hungry at the communities, so we will be teaching you guys based on that. Environmental problems like pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Gender inequality, women and men may not have equal rights in their jobs or education. You all know that, right?
Yes, sir.
For example, racism, some people are mistreated because of their skin color or their background. Okay, so another key idea of social reconstruction, it is helping students think and solve problems. So students here, instead of just memorizing facts, they are able to think critically so that they can solve their problems.
Yes.
But before that, you have to first develop the skills, which is critical thinking, decision making, and problem solving. So under critical thinking, you have to first analyze the problem in different point of views. You guys get me?
Yes, sir.
So in decision making, that is whereby you choose the best solution based on the facts before making a decision. You guys get me?
Yes.
And then you have problem solving, finding ways to improve communities. For example, if students are learning about climate change, they might study what causes climate change. For example, factories, cars, cutting trees. And then they'll be able to discuss how it affects the world and find solution. Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
So here in this orientation, the teacher's role is not just a knowledge provider. They guide students to think for themselves, meaning that they act as a facilitator.
Yes.
They help students based on what they are thinking. You guys get me?
Yes.
They create a safe and open space where students feel comfortable expressing their ideas. So basically, a teacher will create an inclusive environment where students will be able to share their knowledge or their ideas based on what the issue is about in the community. You guys get me?
Yes, sir.
So the teachers encourage a classroom that will have a discussion or debate. That is where students will be able to talk about different opinions about the solution. And then we have group projects. Students work together to research and solve the problem. Remember guys, we're talking about the problem that is happening in the society. Yeah? As I mentioned earlier, that this orientation is based on the problem solving in the community, not like life sciences whereby they talk about genetics or evolution, or maths where you're using calculators and stuff. It's based on what is happening in the society. Alright, then we have community involvement. Students engage in real life activities to improve their surrounding. Meaning that students should be able to talk to people in their communities about the issue so that there can be more solutions about the issue that is happening. For example, if a teacher is discussing racism, ask students to share their experiences, discuss the history of racism. So you have to encourage students to think of ways to promote equity and respect. You guys still with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So after encouraging the students about what to think and promote equity and respect, you also have to encourage students to take action. As I said earlier on, that students must be able to think critically so that they can be able to take decisions and solve the problem. Do you get me?
Yes.
So encouraging students to take action. This approach encourages students to be active instead of sitting in class and listening. So it is not only about me delivering information to you, but it is about you getting the information and how are you going to use it in the society. Are we still together?
Yes.
So for example of the student activity, community service. So we expect like students to help the people that are poor, cleaning the environment or planting trees. Is it clear?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Also, we also have awareness programs whereby students are expected to create posters whereby people in the community will work together with the students so that there can be a healthy environment and inclusive environment. And then we have student lead movement, whereby protest against unfair treatment of people, campaigns for equality, and student initiatives to stop bullying. That is the main factor that is also happening in the community, bullying. So we're trying to solve that problem also. Example of social reconstruction orientation in action. The environmental conservation project, a school project, might focus on reducing plastic. So, in this example, students are asked to study about the plastic harms to environment. For example, if ever we're talking about plastic, so students should come with ideas on how to solve that issue. For example, they can place bins around the schools whereby people, if they are done doing something with the paper, they can just throw it in the bin instead of littering.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
We also have community awareness programs. Students might create programs to spread awareness about issues like gender equality. For example, students might start a campaign to stop bullying in school by organizing workshops about kindness and respect, creating posters and videos to spread awareness. Is it clear?
Yes.
Also encouraging students to report bullying and support victims. So here students are encouraged that they should they should work together so that they can stop this thing of bullying or the issue that they are facing in the society. So another factor is volunteering and social work. School may organize programs where students help others in need. For example, students may volunteer to teach underprivileged children who cannot afford school. They might also help at food banks to provide meals for the poor, meaning that you should work together. And there's the other term I don't want to mention, it's called ubuntu.
Yes.
So if ever you have something, you should share for those who are underprivileged, for those who do not have it. Is it clear?
Yes.
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 So you're probably wondering, why is this social reconstruction important? You're probably wondering, why is it important? So this teaching method prepares students to be responsible citizens who care about their communities. Is it clear? It prepares you to be responsible about your surrounding, what is happening in the community or society. By doing that, you're going to become a critical thinker, whereby you learn to analyze problem and find solution. Develop empathy, whereby you understand the strategies for others. And also improve teamwork and leadership skills, whereby you work together to create change. Connect learning to real life. Education becomes meaningful when it solves real world problems and also make a difference in society. They learn that even small action brings positive change, meaning that those little things that you do will make change in the community. Even if you take a paper and throw it in the bin, you're making a change because you're trying to have a healthy environment. So, as you all know by now, that social reconstruction is all about finding solution or finding a problem, what is happening on the community. So I will conclude my lesson by saying social construction orientation is a powerful way to teach students about real world problems and how to solve them throughout class discussion, projects, and community activities. So students develop critical thinking, decision making, and leadership skills. So teachers play an important role in guiding students and creating a safe space for discussion. So this will be the end of our lesson for today, and I hope this class was effective.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good day, class.
Good day.
My My name is Gosendle, my surname is Chauke, but call me Mr. Chauke. Today I will be taking you through curriculum approaches. I will be doing one of the approach which is technology orientation, and I will also take you through one of the philosophies of which is progressivism. If I may ask, what do you think when we are talking about the technology orientation to the curriculum?
Yes, I think maybe strategies that are being used by a teacher involving maybe some technological tools, maybe like projecting lessons on, or sharing lessons through some website like Blackboard or Teams.
Thank you, very good. Thank you so much. As we all know, education is an important part of our life. It's because it helps people to learn new things and develop skills for the future. Yeah? So over time, teaching have been created to make learning better. I'll start by defining what is technology orientation. Technology orientation is a way of teaching that follow a structured plan. Okay, please highlight the structured plan. In this approach, the teacher is a guide to students by setting learning goals and make sure students reach those goals. Learning happens in a step-by-step process so that learner can understand the topic in a right order. Yes. For an example, in a science class, instead of learning random topics, a teacher can firstly teach a basic idea like atoms and molecular. Then later on, students can learn more difficult topics such as chemicals reactions. By doing so, this helps students to build their knowledge slowly and understand everything better. Yes. So that's the main idea of technology orientation, to make e-learning better by doing it step by step by step. Yes. Yeah, I hope you are hearing that. Yes. One of the important parts in this method is to set a clear learning goals. In this statement, that explain what students should learn. For an example, in a maths class, the goal might be a student will learn how to solve an algebra equation. Yes. This helps both a teacher and student to stay focused on what's needed to be learned. Mm-hmm. As this approach is done by step by step. Firstly, the learner will be told we'll be learning about algebra. Then give them a basic idea, and then that will help them to get a better understanding as they are going with the process of learning. Then technology also uses a test and assignment to check the progress of a student. If a student is struggling, the teacher will give an extra help to ensure that all students have a chance to succeed. As we said from the first time, the important part of this method is to set a clear learning goal, so that every student can achieve their goals. Yes. Then I'll come to using technology in learning. Although technology orientation does not only mean using digital tools like modern technology, like as Mr. Geto said there, like you can have a session of classes online using maybe Blackboard, Zoom, Google Classroom. Teachers now use online platforms like Google Rooms, Zoom to share lessons and communicate with students. This also helps to make e-learning more fun and interesting, so that the learners will be well engaged in lesson and have a better understanding. Yes. For example, instead of using a paper test, the teacher might use an online quiz, which that's how the technology is included in the lesson. By doing so, it can give learners an instant feedback so that they can reflect on their work as quickly as possible. This helps students to quickly understand their mistake and learn fast. Technology also allows students to learn on their own pace by watching videos online and do digital exercises online.
Sorry, sir. So I hear that you are saying this usage of some digital which is tools. For example, writing a test online help us to receive feedback on time, right?
Yes.
So that we can go back, check where we lagged and for. So this is like here in University of Fort Hare, right? We are given an online test on Blackboard. Then we make, let's say it's a multiple choice test, right? And we write it now. Then the feedback comes, like it is graded now. Then we can check where we made some mistake, right?
Yes.
Then we go and improve it.
Yes.
Thanks so much. I just wanted to highlight such things.
To get on your point, that's why we'll be using a philosophy of which it's progressivism. I'll dwell more on progressivism now. It's progressivism focuses on students rather than lesson plan. Strictly on students.
Yes.
This idea is influenced by John Dewey, by believing that students should learn through experience instead of just memorizing facts. It's a student do activities that help them to understand the topic better. For an example, in a history class, instead of just reading about World War II, a student might watch documentaries, analyze old letters, or act out an historical event. This can make learning more interesting and meaningful.
Yes.
That's how technology orientation plays an important part to make learning more meaningful. Yes, it's a key part of progressivism is to encourage students to think for themselves. Like I said, progressivism focuses more on students rather than the lesson.
Yes.
Instead of just giving answers, a teacher can ask questions like, why do you think pollution is a problem? What can we do to fix it? By this student, it helps students to become a better problem solver and critical thinkers. Yes, that's the role of progressivism. Yes, combining it with technology orientation. Progressivism also encourages teamwork and creativity. Students often work in groups to share ideas, solve problems, and complete projects together. This helps them to develop communication skills that will be useful in real life situations. Yes. For example, in an English class, instead of writing an individual essay, students might create a short film based on a novel. This allows them to understand the story more better while using their own creativity. That's a use of it's a technology orientation. Yes. That will be it for today's class. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chow.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Okay, standing in front of you is Mrs. William Kilich, but you can call me Miss Kilich. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be teaching you about one of the main philosophies related to curriculum orientation in the education literature. Teachers of nowadays assume that curriculum orientation is based on their educational philosophies, and their philosophies guide their curriculum orientation. There are 4 influential educational philosophies related to curriculum orientation in the education literature. So I'll be dwelling more in one of them. So one of them is perennialism. So under perennialism, we have 5 features that I'll be talking about. The first one is focused on timeless truth. Perennialists believe that there are fundamental, unchanging truth about the world and human nature. They emphasize the importance of exposing students to this enduring truth, believing that they are essential for developing a well-rounded and virtuous individual. This subtopic is rooted in the belief that some knowledge transcends time and remains relevant across generations. For example, studying fundamental principles of logic and reasoning, as these are considered universal applicable. Also exploring core ethical and moral values such as justice, honesty, and courage, as these are seen as enduring virtues. So the second feature under perennialism is emphasis on classical subjects. Perennialists believe that the liberal arts, including literature, philosophy, history, and mathematics, provide the foundation for a well-rounded education. These subjects are seen as essential for developing students' intellectual and moral capacities, as they cultivate critical thinking, reasoning, and ethical reflection. These subjects are considered to be the most effective at developing the mind. For example, studying classic works of literature such as Shakespearean plays or ancient Greek epics. Also engaging in philosophical discussions about the nature of justice, freedom, and morality. The third feature under perennialism is great books approach. So perennialists advocate for studying classic works of literature and philosophy, believing that these books contain profound insights into the human condition. These works are seen as a source of enduring wisdom and moral guidance, offering students timeless perspectives of human nature and the world. These books are the most important works ever created. For example, reading and analyzing Plato's Republic, also Aristotle's Ethics or Dante's Divine Comedy. Discussing the philosophical ideas and moral dilemmas presented in classic novels such as Moby Dick or Pride and Prejudice. The fourth feature under perennialism is teacher-centered instruction. Perennialists believe that teachers are authorities who guide students through the study of classical work and enduring truth. Instruction often involves lectures, discussions, and Socratic questions, emphasizing the transmission of knowledge and the development of critical thinking skills. The teacher is seen as the master of the subject, and the students are there to learn from the teacher. For example, teachers deliver lectures on key philosophical or historical events. Another example is guiding students through the analysis and interpretation of a complex text. So now I'm going to the last feature of under perennialism, which says development of rationality. Perennialists believe that humans are rational beings and that education should focus on developing that rationality. The ability to reason and to think logically is considered to be one of the most important skills that a person can have. They believe that a well-trained mind is a powerful tool. For example, studying formal logic and the rules of valid arguments. Having debates in class of maybe talking about our past events such as apartheid, etc. Yes. So the second example is solving complex mathematical problems that require logical reasoning. Also debating philosophical questions and defending logical positions. I will therefore link parallelism with an orientation, namely academic rationalism. So academic rationalism has also 4 features that I will be looking at. The first one focuses on discipline. This subtopic highlights the curriculum's organization around established academic subjects. The structure is designed to provide students with a deep understanding of core knowledge domains. For example, a high school curriculum divided into distinct courses like algebra, biology, world history, and English literature. The second one will be emphasis on intellectual development. This centers on cultivating students' cognitive abilities such as critical thinking, logical reasoning, and analytical skills. The goal is to develop well-trained and capable of righteous thoughts. Are you with me, class?
Yes.
Okay. The third one is transmission of knowledge. This aspect emphasizes the importance of passing on the accumulated wisdom and cultural heritage of society. It involves exposing students to fundamental knowledge and significant works within various disciplines. For example, like studying classic literature, also examining key historical events, a history class that studies the founding document of a country and the ideals that they represent. So now I'm going to the role of a teacher under academic rationalism.
Yes.
The role of the teacher is to assist students in mastering concepts, content, and main ideas of academic discipline. My fellow students, that's it for the day. I will see you next week Friday at 3 o'clock.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the end of our video presentation. Thank you for watching. Curriculum Academy.